Hi, it's Ron Smith again with David Hellett from Archie Centre for another Archie Centre news break. And today it's about dilapidation surveys. Because of the number of buildings that are now going up and having underground car parks, it's not unusual for you to come home and find a little piece of paper attached to a fence next door. What does it mean to you, especially when the machines rumble in and they start digging a great big hole? David Hellett, what do we do and what should we be looking out for?
Well, you should be looking out for property damage, Ron. Of course, that's a concern for any property owner. And as you said, there's more and more projects, even domestic projects going on these days that involve quite substantial excavation. Lots of people putting in basement garages and rumpus rooms, storage areas, those sorts of things. Also, and we've seen this really for the last decade or two, more and more people building to the boundary. So they are literally right up against your property line. Now, there's always the possibility, of course, that work in such close proximity to your home and your building could do some damage to it. So a dilapidation survey is really a photographic study of your building that records any defects that might be present on your property already, so that if any more defects become apparent during construction, you've got a basis for approaching the builder next door and hopefully getting those rectified.
David, this is a pretty scary thing for many homeowners because if it is right up to the boundary and underground car parks are going down about 10-15 feet, it's quite a deep hole. What sort of damage could that cause? How do I see, or what might I see in my house to give me a bit of a warning?
Well, the sort of damage that it would cause, and that sort of disturbance, if you like, of the ground, has the potential to induce some cracking in the adjacent building, or if not in the building, then perhaps in the surrounds around the building. Might be in a driveway, for argument's sake. It might simply be the fence itself, the joint fence separating the two properties. If any of these elements, the fence, the driveway, planting strips, outdoor paved areas, and particularly the building, of course, if any of these are affected in some way by the work that's going on next door, be it excavation, piling work, compaction work, any of these things are going to impact on the ground. And of course they've got a potential then to impact on the building as well. So it's really important for people to understand that this can happen, and it's important for them to perhaps take out a bit of insurance in the form of a dilapidation survey.
Could it impact on the entire structure of the house? If one part of the house really starts to crumble along the side wall, could it affect some of the other structure?
Look, it could do, Ron. In an extreme case, that's certainly possible, and for that reason, it really is critical for people to have a record of the building before the work started next door, so that if something does happen, they've got the information they need on record to demonstrate that the building was in good condition before the work started, and now since the work has started, it's not in such good condition. It might be something relatively minor, could be something quite major, but if you haven't got that record of the building before the work started, it's very hard to approach the builder and say that they've done some damage to your building. You need to be able to substantiate it, and the best way to do that is by using a dilapidation survey.
Who's responsible for getting the dilapidation report? I mean, I'm just sitting there on my block of land enjoying my house. All of a sudden the next door neighbour or someone buys the house and demolishes it and starts digging the hole. Is it the responsibility of the builder? Is it the responsibility of the council who gives a permit to actually make sure that this sort of survey is carried out?
No, it's not the responsibility of the council. It is the responsibility of the builder if they are building within a metre of the boundary. But they might be building 2 metres away from the boundary but still digging a very large excavation. If you've got any large-scale work going on next door, and by that we mean a large excavation or building perhaps right up to a boundary, it really is in your interest to commission one of these reports yourself. It's going to be in your interest ultimately to have this on hand if you want to approach the builder with any allegation that they've caused some damage to your building.
How do people who have these dilapidation reports done, what use are they? How are they used?
Well, they're a photographic record. So if you want to approach the contractor who's done this work next door with an accusation that they've done some damage to your property in some way, maybe it's the fence, maybe the driveway's subsided a bit, maybe there's even some cracking in your home. If you want to approach them with that accusation, you're going to have to substantiate it in some way. You're going to have to prove that whatever damage is there now wasn't there before. And the best way you can do that is with an independently prepared photographic dilapidation report.
And that dilapidation report is fully backed by Archicentre.
Oh, of course. It's a moment in time assessment and a photographic record, as I said, of the building before the work started. It's critical to have these done before the work starts. Once the work has started, it's too late. There's no way you can win an argument over who did what when. You've got to have the record of the building before the work started.
If people want to find out more, David, about this, what do they do if they're looking out their window now and seeing a hole being dug? What should they do?
Well, they should probably ring us straight away, Ron, on 1300 134513, or if they want more information, they can have a look at our website, which is archicentre.com.au.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, Ron.